Hello and welcome back to our channel Visit Villegas. My name is Marina and today I'm going to share with you my thrifty finds of the week. This week I got to do something a little bit different, so I have a great haul to share with you guys today. I got most of my items today from a woman who was closing her antique booth. So she already had her own kind of style pulled together, and then from what she would pick naturally, I pulled out my individual style from what she had available. I would say this is actually my first hot tip for you. Anytime you go shopping, you're always hunting for your style. You're hunting for what you're drawn to. Even though this lady had a variety of items that I personally wouldn't pick, I was still able to find what my style was individually through different pieces. What gets hard about that is you have to learn how to separate those items from what you're seeing around you. It's kind of this like cloud mentality or singular mentality of like pulling out like this one piece is the gem. That's why it's called treasure hunting, because you're looking through all these different items and saying, I don't think I would picture that in my house. And I will say this, it does take practice, and it does say it has taken me some mistakes before I really started to get a better eye at catching like what would really work for me. Sometimes I've noticed that I can find items that I know are maybe in style, but maybe they don't fit with my style. And I've purchased those and it's become a mistake. And I've had to realize, you know what, it doesn't really service my home or my style the way that it would someone else's. So next time, I'm just gonna leave that at the store for someone else who it would service more of that style. A really quick example is mid-century modern. I don't typically do a lot of mid-century modern pieces in my house. I can spot them pretty regularly in a store because there's some characteristics to mid-century modern that are very obvious to me now that I've trained my eye to know what I'm looking at. I'd say especially if you found something that you find yourself as you're drawn to it and it's like $1, $2, $3 and you have a couple bucks to spare, try it. Just bring it home with you and see how it feels with the other stuff around you. Because if anything, it's worth spending those $2 for you to get a better trained eye to understand what you're looking at next time you go into the store. It gives you the confidence to understand what you really want in the pieces you're trying to bring home. All right, enough of that. I'm gonna start off really strong with some of the things I got from this antique booth sale. Okay, let's start with these. She had a great collection of different books. Now, you guys know I've been sourcing more like cookbooks and coffee table books. I also know that the more of these regular shaped sized books that I use in one place, I usually clump a lot of them together. And you may think, oh, I've got at least 10 books, and you realize maybe you're using them all in one section. So distributing books well, it can take some time, and sometimes I just like to put a little stock of them away, and when I need them for a certain styling area, then I can grab them. So these ones are all green and blue. I don't know if you can tell from behind me that green and blue are my favorite colors. They just always have been. They're kind of always tied in my head as far as like favorites go. I knew that these would fit well with my color palette in my house, and they're kind of unique. So this first one says television servicing, and I think it's just a like technician's guide. Yeah, it's got like modern TV receivers, and then it's got all the bits and figurines on how to service brightness control circuits. So it's kind of really fun to look at, especially because I've mentioned this before, but my family has a furniture store located in Phoenix. It's called Say Yes to the Dresser, and we specialize in secondhand furniture. So there have been quite a few what look like radios or dressers that come in and they actually have a television inside of them. And this would be the kind of manual you would want to know how to make sure everything's correctly in place. So a lot of those parts are difficult to come by now. Usually you'd want to purchase some of them on eBay. Max and I have done that before with a couple radios we've had to go to eBay to find like exact models, and you can typically order some of them from there. But so I got this book. I also got two green ones. This one says Pee Wee Harris. I usually read through some of these just to make sure I'm not bringing something home maybe I don't agree with, because that's kind of important to me. To each their own, definitely. If it doesn't bother you and it doesn't matter to you, then that's totally different. Just a small green book. And then this is Marshall's Handy Manual. I love that it's got this like kind of metallic title. Letters, forums, businesses, and socials. Okay, this is like how to respond. Oh my gosh, this is so interesting. On the death of a wife. My dear George, I know that this letter will find you filled with grief at the loss of your dear wife. You have indeed suffered a great affliction. A more faithful partner never lived, and few men, I venture to say, ever enjoyed more domestic tranquility than yourself. This is so sweet, like a guide on like how to little bits of life. All right, so these are just fun additions to have in the house, and I think they look nice. Vintage books are so fun. I will say too, every week when I share my thrifted finds of the week, I also share on my Instagram, well, on my like to know it, I share thrifted lookalikes. So if you like something that I'm sharing today, I'm also gonna be sharing a link on items I found that are similar. I'll go ahead and attach that in the description box for today's video. And I can do that going forward too for easy access. If you see something you like, I do my best to find a lookalike. That is something you can shop for now. What I was gonna say about books are the one thing that I have not been able to find thrifted lookalikes for. I guess you could say they just don't make books like they used to, but also you wouldn't really get the same look of a used vintage book buying one that's been replicated. Some of these other pieces you can find replicated versions and they feel a lot more authentic. Books, however, are the one thing I have yet to find a thrifted lookalike to be able to share that I would feel confident in advising a purchase if that was something you were interested in. The next thing I found from the antique booth that was closing, this picture. I think that these are apples. It could be a pumpkin. It could be flowers. Either way, I think it's a vase with flower petals. But you tell me what you think it is in the comments. We can cast a little vote, see what you guys think it is. It's in great condition. I always love having more things to put new flowers in. I feel like you really like having flowers in your home, or you really like having real plants in your home. I am not the latter. So I'm a flower girl. I would love to have more flowers in our house all the time. It's a little expensive, so I like buying the faux ones because I can keep them alive and they will last me more than one season. I found was this small crock. Now, I don't have a frog. Frogs are a way that you can display flowers, and it's like about this big, and you would put it on the inside of something and you would stick flowers into it so that you can make a floral arrangement. This would be a great piece for that. You could also, use it in the kitchen for something. I don't know if I would. This one has a little bit of wear and tear in it, so the glaze isn't perfectly covered around everything, but I love that it has character to it. I think it looks not store-bought, which I really love. It makes it feel more collected in my house. The last thing I found from the sale was this larger crock, and you can see this one used to have a lid attached to the top of it. This one also has a big stamp on the middle. It says compliments of Dymock Merchandise Co. And then it says Dymock or Dimock, SO period, DAK period. So I'm not sure that this is American. I really love, if you can see the detail on this piece, I actually just fell even more in love with it. It's got great character speckles throughout it, where you can see kind of the brown color underneath the glaze, and it feels just authentic and really neat. Like the kind of thing you see in pottery that they try to recreate for new pieces. This one has just an authentic feel to it. It does not have the lid that I'm assuming it came with this little divot inside of it, but I find it so charming, and I would probably just use this one also as a decorative piece instead of maybe what it's originally meant to be used for. And at the same time, if I give it a good scrub, I could just use it as a mixing bowl and like put batter in there and mix it up. You could make homemade bread probably in there. Probably need the lid. Anyways, you can tell on the bottom as well, someone has loved it for a very long time. These are the things I found at that antique booth that was shutting down. I have one more thing to share with you guys that is kind of the gem, the prize jewel of this week's haul, and I don't think you're ready for it. This one took me by surprise and it took my breath away. I was in the thrift store. I saw a painting up. It was brightly colored and I was not like super into it, but I thought I'd go check it out because sometimes when you get closer you can see it better and you know if you'd really like to get it or not. So as I approached it quickly, I saw this other painting next to it and I was like, this is amazing. I'm bringing this home with me. So this painting is extremely old. I have looked this painting up and there's a few things I was able to find about it. Not as much history as I wanted to. I have the Google app downloaded, I opened the camera section and you can search by image. So what I was able to find is that this image is previously dated back as far as the 1700s for the original. I don't believe that this is the original. However, it is extremely unique compared to everything else I was able to find online. This one is backwards. From every bit of information I was able to find online, the digital versions are all backwards compared to this one. I'm not sure. I think that definitely adds to the uniqueness of it. I have no idea what year this one was made. The canvas is extremely old. When I was holding it up, you could probably tell that it was a little bit see-through even. The nails on the side of it are also quite old, and the frame itself, you can tell the wood is old. There are some staples on the corners, and I think that was added later down the road to reinforce it because the age of the staples doesn't seem to match the age of the nails that are holding the canvas initially in place. It's so perfect. Gosh, guys, it's been weeks of me telling you how I've been working on adding more paintings to my home, and this is exactly the kind of painting I have been wanting to bring into the house. Aged, history, not in perfect condition, but it adds so much character. Through the moon excited about it. It's definitely the kind of thing I've been hunting for, and I knew I had to bring it home. This is my favorite find of the week. I kind of like it frameless, but I'm open to adding a frame. It'd have to be the right kind. I'm just not sure. Either way, it's home for good. Thanks so much for joining me this week. My name is Marina. If you want to catch up with us daily, go ahead and check out our Instagram or our TikTok, Visit Villegas, where we check in daily and we get to share some other unique fun content with you guys, like things we're working on in the house or other projects that we have going on. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that way you're the first to know when our next episode goes live.